September 10, 2025, during a debate event at a university in Utah, Charlie Kirk was shot, rushed to the hospital, and several hours later his death was announced. So let's understand exactly what happened there, and why even the fastest treatment in the world wouldn't have saved his life. We know that Charlie Kirk was shot on the left side of his neck, where there are quite a few vital tissues, and damage to them can lead to death. The first is blood vessels. The carotid artery, both the common branch and its internal branch, carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the brain. The flow rate in these arteries is about a liter of blood per minute, which means that a lot of blood can be lost if they are damaged, especially considering that an average person has about 5 liters of blood. Next to the carotid artery is also the jugular vein, both its internal and external branches, and they carry blood from the brain back to the heart. A lot of blood also flows through them, and injury to them is also life-threatening. There are also many smaller blood vessels that are located close to other structures, mainly the spine, and injury to them is also dangerous. Injury to such blood vessels is critical in itself, but as we'll soon see, in many gunshot wounds the situation is much more severe. The bullet traveling at such speed creates the cavitation effect, which is like a shockwave balloon that damages tissues that weren't directly hit, and this brings us to the nervous system. In the neck, there are many nerves that connect our brain to the rest of the body, including the critical vagus nerve. Damage to these nerves can cause immediate paralysis of critical body systems, and there is a clear sign that this happened to Kirk. Immediately after the injury, he entered a decorticate posture, arms flexed inward with clenched fists and straight legs. This is a state that indicates severe brain damage. So in addition to fatal injury to blood vessels and nerves, in such a situation we can expect damage to the esophagus, the airways, structural damage to the spine, and more. Another important point that can be seen in such a case is hypovolemic shock, which is a drop in blood volume. A dramatic drop in blood pressure due to their loss, which leads to a decrease in the supply of blood and oxygen to vital tissues, and this is a life-threatening situation within minutes. The initial treatment he likely received on the spot was, first of all, an attempt to stop the bleeding while maintaining an open airway. Immediately afterwards, he was taken to the hospital, where I assume they performed emergency surgery to try to stop the bleeding and assess the nerve damage, and as mentioned, they were unable to save him. My assessment is that even if he had been in such a condition right there in the operating room with the doctors, he would not have survived. The damage was simply too great. A combination of injury to blood vessels, nerves, and the spinal cord, along with extensive bleeding and brain damage, makes such an injury impossible to save. I debated a lot about whether to explain this case from a medical perspective, and I ended up deciding to do it after conducting polls both on Twitter and Instagram. This demonstrated to us just how deadly such an injury is, even with the most modern medical resources available, regardless of any political stance. Bye-bye.